Okay, now I'm going to take apart the prophecy and talk about each of the components as I go and what makes them different and better than what we've done before. Start off with obviously nicely, easily removed front pieces. New design in how we've done this with the monocoque one-piece front makes it significantly stronger, allows me to remove some of the material and make it significantly lighter, and it allows us to interchange different fronts to give you different capacities and different styling. Obviously when you take it off, two buttons required, one on the top, one on the bottom, so you can't accidentally get it shot off by taking a shot to the button. And when it's in place, it's held in place on both sides of the feed neck so it won't come apart while it's on your gun. The next thing, quick change lids. We're going to have this standard lid which has magnets for holding it open, and there's a spring which will hold the lid open, and then magnets for holding it closed. We'll also have a friction system lid where if you don't like the magnet system on the back that holds the lid shut, it'll actually be a snap lid like the original Halo was. So you'll be able to simply replace this for the friction lid. And we're also going to have a quick load lid. I don't have on my desk right now. We'll also have a quick load lid which is similar to the speed feed lid concepts, which allows you to rapidly load the loader with paintballs without having to actually open the lid to do so. Okay, the next piece I'm going to take out is the feed neck. Made from the same material as the original Revolution loaders. One piece, extremely strong, lightweight, strong material. Helps stop you from crushing the feed neck when you tighten the feed neck clamp too far. Also has a little bit of flexibility to it, so you're less likely to snap or shatter the shells. The next piece I'm going to take off is the back plate, and the back plate allows you to put whatever stickers, transfers you want on the back. There is actually a fair bit of space in the back here, which is going to allow us to do some very fancy electronics systems in the future and different capabilities there. Polycarbonate, very strong, snaps into place. You put it in at the top and simply roll it in at the bottom, and the catch on the bottom will lock it into place. Push up on the bottom piece to release that catch. It's hard to do it on video. And just roll it out, and there you go. If you wanted to, you could keep your instructions in there, or maybe something else. Okay, and the next piece I'm going to take off by pushing the release buttons. There are two halves of the body shell. That's going to leave you with the drive, which I'll talk about in the next video. The body shell is made out of a blend of polycarbonate. It's actually stronger and more flexible than the polycarbonate we've used previously. It takes some significant impacts, and I'm going to make a video showing me beating up on one of the body shells so you can see how much stronger it is. The way that the feed neck is designed, I'm not sure if you can actually see that, with the way that it radiuses and blends in smoothly, means we get much better flow through the tool, and we get much stronger plastics. And because it's three pieces on the outside of the one internal feed neck support, it's extremely strong. It's a little bit flexible feed neck, but that's a good thing because it stops it from being brittle or from cracking when it takes an impact. It will flex a little bit, but it won't break. And then you have the integrated button system on the top, tongue and groove that locks everything together, the magnet which will hold the lid open, as well as the option for the spring, which is very easy to put in. You don't have to set the spring, you just put the spring on the lid, put the lid into place with the lid open, and then as you close the lid it will automatically set the spring. So it's very easy. So those are your body shells. You can see the holes there, which are actually where the snaps hold them onto the drive. Okay, and now I'm going to get into the drive system. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the drive system. And the first piece to take a look at is the floor. I'm going to push the two release tabs on the back. That'll allow me to take the floor off and slide it off the front. The floor is designed to be very lightweight material. It actually has strengthening ribs underneath it, and these ribs at the front actually allow me to use one floor design and support either a 4 AA battery pack or to 9 volts without them being sloppy or moving around inside the floor. The floor actually flexes a little bit to lock them into place, and those different tabs, trying to make sure you can see it on the camera, these different tabs and this floor recess allow me to fit those different battery components in there. So you can run it on AA's or dual 9 volts or lithium ion pack that we're looking at doing right now. Okay, so that's the floor, very lightweight, robust material. As we get into the drive here, I'm going to remove the battery pack, and in this case I have the 4 AA's. That simply unsnaps, and what you'll see is that I have the wires coming from the motor and I have the wires coming from the battery snap, and they connect to the circuit board here. Now that is the total wiring harness in the whole unit. There are no other wires, so you don't have to worry about how you route wires or pulling on wires or any of the assembly in terms of, trying to keep it on camera, in terms of where the wiring goes. So it's really simple, much less likely to be damaged. Okay, and then the next piece I'm going to take out, this is the outlet cover. Okay, and this piece is pretty special. We have an integrated three-way anti-jam at the front. I'm trying to get it in focus. So it's nice and flexible, it's real soft, flexes up and down, and it takes the impacts. This is important because when the balls come around in the drive system, if one of them hasn't properly loaded, anytime you have two hard parts of a loading system come together, you have a shearing action. And if those parts are rigid and won't move, you're either going to have a jam or you're going to shear the paintballs. Neither situation is good. The three-way anti-jam will flex and actually spring the balls down into the correct location to stop you from having any jams, and also quite significantly to stop you from being able to shear the balls, so it'll allow you to work with fragile paint without the risk of breaking it. We also have these two tabs sticking out on the bottom. This one is actually a location tab and locks underneath the motor to hold this piece in place, and this one is a reversing ramp. When it's actually, I'm going to try and show you, hopefully you can see this. Here's the reversing ramp. So when it's actually in the loader, if you run the drive in reverse, turn the rip wheel knob in reverse, rather than jamming balls up against the outlet, it lifts the balls up and out of the slide or the raceway or whatever you want to call it, and brings them round so that you don't jam them. So you can reverse and take all the balls out of the drive system, and you don't have to worry about crushing paint if you would run it in reverse. The other things on here, these ridges over the side, make sure that it sits and locates properly in place. This one too. And then what we also have is we have some venting. The venting is to make this component as light as possible, but it also works as anti-blowback venting. Sometimes if you put a loader on a gun which has a lot of blowback, that gas being blown back up through the system will break paint as it drives it back into the loader. With this system, even if you put it on a gun with a lot of blowback, that gas just gets vented and you're not driving the balls back through the loader or causing any problems because of that. Also helps make it very nice and lightweight, and that's one of the ways you manage to get the weight on this loader down so significantly. Back to the drive system, and I'm just going to finish up on this electronics component. You'll see that we have a locking tab that holds the wiring harness in place, so it snaps in very securely. You don't have to worry about that pulling or sliding out. It just clips itself in and locks in properly. Okay, so now we've done that one, I'll get into the drive a little bit more.